LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Looking for a simple way to thank your clients or recognize employees for a job well done? A Starbucks card is more than a gift. It's a pick-me-up, a break in their day, and a reminder that you appreciate them. Whether you're shopping for digital or physical cards in bulk, Starbucks cards are the perfect gift to brighten anyone's day. Share the joy of coffee and connection when you give the gift of Starbucks. Shop Starbucks cards in bulk now at starbuckscardb2b.com.
Katie, 5-Iron February continues. As is tradition from last year, we are joined by yet another member of the greatest ska band, the greatest rock band, greatest Christian band of all time.
Oh, yes.
Leanor from 5-Iron Frenzy, also known as Jeff the Girl. Mm-hmm. Leanor, thank you for joining us.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about Christian cringe, and what better album than the one with the pants songs? Because I was going to come on here and be like, excuse me, I don't know about this name. And then I was like, oh, wait, we put out the pants songs? What is more cringe than that?
I want to ask you a question that, and Andy said this to me when I saw you guys in Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious if this is still the opinion of other members of the band. But he was like, there are certain silly songs that we've recorded that if I knew that 30 years later it'd be what everyone wanted us to play live, I would have told us not to release it.
Not only do I feel like that about the silly stuff, but even some of the stuff at the time we thought was serious, like my lyrics for Faking Life. I'm like, how embarrassing. You're like, oh, I've got lyrics. I'm in a band. And then suddenly people really listen to it, and you're like, can I go back in time?
But how old were you when you wrote Faking Life? Like you were your teens.
I was 18.
You were a teenager. I think everyone gets a mulligan until they're 21. Yeah.
Especially when you're already a part of something that is so many people and so collaborative, and you're young and you're still making really cool art all in general. I hope you understand that we don't bring 5-Iron Frenzy on for 5-Iron February to call you cringe to your face.
Yeah, this is our break from all the other cringe. This is our month to not have to cringe.
Well, and let's say this. So it's gonna connect the dots. And that's the cool thing is, right? Going from 18 and writing lyrics for Faking Life, and then we're gonna talk about this album, but going to All That Is Good lyrically. Yeah. So we'll get there. I guess there is a redeeming quality. Sure.
There's a story.
I'll be okay with that. Yes.
For sure. And so to give you a little bit of behind the scenes on how it works, last week, Katie and I did a track by track breakdown of the album, which was Katie's first time ever hearing the album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And what we want to talk to you about is a little bit of the more behind the scenes things and what was the vibe of the band at that time. Okay. But something that came up last week, and I would love to pick your brain about this, is not to say that 5-Iron hasn't been a political band from the beginning. I mean, Old West being the opening song of your first album says a lot. But this album specifically has two songs that I think are some of the more politically overt songs. And one of the big ones is Go and Get Your Riot Gear. Right. And we found an old interview with you from way back when you were promoting All the Hype That Money Could Buy. And you were talking about writing Riot Gear. And there was a line that you said, I want to read it back to you now. Ooh. Because I think it's interesting.
Okay.
And she said, where is it? You said, most of us don't know what we're talking about just yet. But when I get older, because I'm only 23, but when I get more educated, I would hope that I lean more towards the social causes. I think we should follow Martin Luther King Jr. as a fine example of that. Cool. And I was curious, now you looking back at this, I think that your prediction was pretty spot on how most, if not all of the band has pushed even further into that social justice side of things.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one thing that I said in an interview was that, when we were younger, we weren't voters necessarily super aware. We weren't parents. We weren't pastors. We weren't, we were part of society, but you're very much fringe when you're young. Sure. And you don't even know, you're dogmatic, but you don't really know the impact that you have. So I think that that's kind of what I was talking about is when you're older, even having more money, you have an ability to have a say and to have more of an impact. And certainly, as we've talked about, Five Iron having more of an audience. Huge. For sure. Huge audience. So I think that that's the trajectory was as it gets more, am I going to stay the path that, I really felt Christ put in front of us? And I think so.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And are you one of or the only pastor that's in the band?
I am officially a chaplain. I have pastored. Reese has pastored. Dennis has done worship pastoring. I guess probably I'm a chaplain, not a pastor now. But yeah, I would say, to be honest, though, I think that a lot of us have shepherd's hearts.
Oh, for sure you do.
So whether we pastor or not, I mean, especially Micah on social media, there's so many of us that have a shepherd's calling, I would say. And
100%.
and a lot of us tend to have our own little flocks. Like, it's weird to say, like, there's Andy fans, and a lot of that is about sobriety and mental health. There's, Micah fans, and a lot of that is around social justice and sensitivity and anger. There's Reese fans, brainiacs. Yeah. And then you have the me fans. The me fans are more like, maybe get your hands dirty. Like, what are you really like physically doing? Not just philosophically, but doing.
Right.
I do love that. And I'd love to know how you feel about this, but I love that on Facebook, the official or unofficial Five Iron Frenzy fan page is the I Hate Five Iron Frenzy page, where it seems like the entire point of that page or the entire joke of that page is this band is terrible. They're all terrible people except for Leanor, who must be protected. like everyone seems to constantly not include you when they're like trashing the band in any way, shape, or form.
Weird. It's so weird.
What do you take from that? Like, what do you think that is?
Well, okay, so when we first started as Five Iron, we all had jobs. And so some of the jobs were, for instance, like Dennis handles the money. Reese was designing a lot of the merch. Scott was one of the main songwriters. And my job was to answer the band mail. So we had a snail mail address, a P.O. box, and I would get, as we got bigger, those, they're like a plastic bucket that the post office has.
Yeah.
That would be full every other week.
Oh, wow.
And I would snail mail answer all the letters.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them. I would take that on tour. It would take a long time, but my job was, and then it kind of warped to being like fan interaction to where interviews and now podcasts for the most part. Other guys are doing them too, but when podcasts first started. So because I have an outward facing quote unquote job,
sure,
the fans have more access to me and become friends, I guess I would say.
That is true. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, especially as we've gotten older, there's a lot of people where it's a give and take. And I'm like, yeah, you're rad. Be my friend. Yeah, for sure. I know it's not like I have a lack of time for friends. I like friends. And especially when we're going to other city, you're going to cities. It'd be great to see some of these quote unquote fans that it's like, who else do I know there? Now you're my friend.
Yeah. Aww. No, as speaking from someone who I believe had that transition from fan to friend.
We've hung out. Yep.
Like it is a very unique experience. It's also one of those things where like there is that there's that initial hump where it's like, oh man, I have all this access in 30 years of questions. And then, but then like at a certain point you like get over that. And then it's like, it's no longer like, oh, I'm seeing my favorite band and I happen to be friends with these people. It's like, oh, I'm seeing my friend's band. Like that's like what it slowly turns into over time. And it's like, it's like, man, it's so cool that my friend's band is headlining this show right now.
But I also have to say something. When I was rolling my eyes, because this is not a visual show, you were talking about the I Hate Five Iron Frenzy. Bro, I am a sheltered woman. And I choose this. I choose this for myself. I don't even watch Rated R, bro. Like, I'm like, I don't need to know this stuff. Like, it's also a weird
that page gets weird
Christian
and vulgar.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Talking about Christian cringe. Sometimes I'm just like, unsubscribe. But oh well, you get with the good with the bad. Everybody has to be a little sexually dirty on there. It's just it's their safe place, I guess. It's weird.
Well, I'm sure that an element of that, as I'm sure you've noticed this across the board.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Oh, strap in. But no, I feel like, there's been a lot of people who have had their journeys with their faith from being a teenager listening to this music into their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And it feels like your band, time and time again, is the band that comes up as like the one exception of that time period where people are like, I still really love this band and this band still really means so much to me. And I mean, I've told you before that even like on my journey of like, what is my faith? A lot of my faith comes back to specific lyrics from Five Iron Frenzy songs and saying,
let's go there. Let's talk about this album. I'm excited. I'm ready for these questions.
Yeah, this album, that's the stuff we can point to. These are the songs where I'm like, this is where it begins for me.
I think there were some turning points. Yeah, let's chat. What are your questions, bro? Let's go there.
Well, let's start here because this is Scott's last album, and you said that Scott was at the time one of the main songwriters. Now he's back in the band, and I think he is still among one of the main songwriters. But he left the band, as far as I know, because he had a crisis of faith and walked away from things.
I wouldn't say crisis. I would say a change, sure.
A change of faith, yeah. Change of faith. Was he going through that change while writing this particular album?
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of reflected a little bit.
He was super honest with all of us because we had gone on the Ska Against Racism tour, and he started to have they start as conversations, and then they start almost becoming debates. And it wasn't always fun because you're stuck in a school bus for hours and hours with your best friends, and it's getting a little,
heated.
Yeah, heated, and the reason is because of love. Yeah. And you try to be open-minded, but you're also like, but I'm going to have to mourn the death of you how I knew you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the progression of just like his thought process, his character, it felt almost like a death for you.
Yeah. You don't notice it at the time, but now that so many friends have changed, it's like iron sharpening iron. It's like almost like a marriage, you are deep into it. And then it's like, okay, now I have boundaries. Now I have to have a sift. I have to question everything you say, whether it's advice. Do I believe this? Do I agree? And even though we all had different theology, the mains were the mains.
Yeah.
With Five Iron. We had people that were Assemblies of God, people that were Pentecostal, people that were Calvinists, people that were Presbyterians, but the mains were the mains. And then when the mains start getting changed, like, is Jesus God? Is the Trinity real? Is the Holy Spirit real? Now it's kind of like you love the person. You don't stop loving that person, but you look through a new lens of like, I adore you and I love you. How do I now respect you as the new you and not try to put my expectation as a dogmatic youth in this missional Christian band?
Sure.
That's part of a missional label.
Sure.
Yeah.
How do I trust that, that this is going to be good for us? I mean, losing Scott was huge for us because musically, number one, but then also as one of the best friends, it was going to be hard. And I dragged my feet on wanting to replace him. Like we had tryouts for new people and I didn't even want to believe it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember around that time, the late 90s, early 2000s, being not at my church, because I don't think my church would ever say something like this, but going to a different church on a missions trip or something like that. And the speaker saying, every time that you meet anyone who is not a Christian, you have to imagine that the words going to hell are stamped on their head and that it's your mission to save their lives, which is a lot of pressure to put on a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So I can imagine
you know what I
mean?
Insane.
That's psychotic, right? So it's like, I can also see being in your late teens, early 20s, like
with that emphasis.
No, it wasn't. Okay, so for us, it wasn't a hell. It was out of the intense, long prayers and Bible studies we've had, out of the mission with us.
Yeah,
that's
that you guys were doing.
I
were
wasn't
on this
worried
journey,
about
he was walking away from the journey, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so All That Is Good. When I wrote the lyrics to All That Is Good, is 100% about Scott.
Oh,
really? Okay, because I know that I've heard that it's also tied to ska against racism, but I never realized it was that specific element of it.
Well, I think do all streams lead to one sea? I mean, all of us were, like I said, we come from different denominations. We come from different belief systems, demonstrative backgrounds. Do all streams lead to one sea is God herself going to be faithful with our journeys and take us back to a place of safety, no matter where we are on this stream? Because faith is a spectrum, right? Sure. Faith is fluid. And I still believe that. I mean, and these are the kind of lyrics that you write and you're like, they're so beyond you that you're like, you haven't processed them because it's a gift that's been given to you, almost like every new day. Like it's a gift, these lyrics that are given to me, it's kind of like, where does the misunderstanding come from? Demanding that we be outstanding and then some. You start to learn as 5-iron, suddenly we're pastors and experts and we're like, we're not, we're musicians, we're teenagers. I know nothing about, I didn't really grow up in church. I don't know soteriological resources and all these theological concepts and stuff I'm learning. So, demanding that we be outstanding and then some, this pressure to be spokespeople for theology was
that's a big
burden.
Yeah,
it's a burden and also a bummer.
Especially as a musician, I'm sure.
I was just on a podcast with Val from the W's.
Right.
We were talking about Goldfinger specifically. And he shared a fairly funny story about two of the other members of the band. And he's like, we're at our peak. We're touring. Like, we're basically exclusively playing Christian venues, but we like this secular music.
Sure.
And he's like, and two of the guys they were sharing earbuds and listening to one of the songs, and they thought that they were mouthing along to the lyrics quietly. And they were singing along at a loud volume in front of the promoter. And he's like, and I just never forgot the judgmental look that we got. But in retrospect, it's like, we're a bunch of 20-year-old kids in a van for hours. Like,
and
what is your expectation?
Was probably raised on Black Sabbath. Come on, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
Cry Me a River.
Speaking though about All That Is Good, which is easily in my top 5-iron songs ever.
Really great.
I actually think the last lines of the song where you flip the chorus. Logically, there's room for all questions, though the answers aren't all known. Objectivity's the myth of plenty who doubt his truth within their soul. That is just straight poetry.
However, there's a little audacity right there.
There is a bit of audacity there, but that is some poetry at the same time.
So the backstory on that, we used to go to Lim's Mongolian Barbecue, the best restaurant downtown. $5.38. You get a big pile of Mongolian barbecue, fried rice, a big soda, 2 egg rolls, and you can watch Seinfeld. Right?
Sounds like a dream. Yeah.
We went there all the time.
Sure.
And the owner, she was, I don't know if she was Korean or Chinese, but she was a Christian. And so her husband was a white guy from the States, and their son would always talk to me. He was about our age. And he was talking about going to a mountain and emptying himself and finding God or spirituality. And that's the concept of objectivity, I was like, that's a myth. You don't empty yourself. You take who you are to that mountain.
Yeah.
Ah.
How are you really going to go to a mountain and empty yourself and find God? What do you empty? You're coming with your preconceived notions, your hurts, your everything, your philosophies. I think objectivity, when people are like, I can be objective about it, it's like, bullshit. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah.
We were raised in American Christianity. That colors. I know, and mine was Mexican Christianity.
I didn't realize that. What? So
well, that means, okay, you want to go there? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
That means Mexican Christianity, from my point of view, both Mexican American parents, means Democrat, means JFK, means Cesar Chavez, means Catholicism, Jesuits teaching you social justice. We vote to care for all.
Yeah.
So when I joined Five Iron, I was shocked that Republicans could be Christians.
I am so fascinated by this because I grew up in Arizona and Hispanic Christianity was also around, and my parents were very rarely the Democrats among the Republicans. So I totally know the mixing of it, but like coming from the perspective of I didn't realize that Christians could be Republicans. Fascinating to me
because I always grew up thinking Republicans were like money hungry, like
they are,
like we're rich. I know, but so it's fascinating. I remember being in the school bus and being like, "Yeah, my parents are veterans. They love the flag."
Yeah,
like, damn straight, we're Democrats. Come on, how does this work? So I think yes, that's what I'm talking about. Objectivity is the myth.
Interesting.
I love that.
Interesting.
That's
and
now that
I know what this is about, even looking at another verse that I always liked, the alert the press, their dogmas are a mess.
Yes.
Like that makes so much more sense to me.
And that has to do with interviews.
Oh, sure.
Interviews, they're always getting it wrong. Like, and they still do, and they always will, because it's, it's sound bites and they're trying their best. And even you podcasters try your best, but we all, alert the press, their dogmas are a mess. It's like, from one day to the next, you're going to change what you believe. Like I said, faith is fluid. And so to ever be like, Five Iron believes this. There's 8 of us and we all change what we believe all the time. Like it doesn't, I don't like, and that's why honestly, and this is an adult thing, like, I'll turn 50 this year. I have never been a member of a church because of this. And I've never signed a statement of faith.
Good for you.
I can't ascribe to it because it changes.
Yeah.
That reminds me of when I was a kid. This was when I was at the peak of Christianity in middle school. As a kid, I was, dude, when I got in, I was like I was a good little soldier at the church, like 6 days a week throughout all of middle school, lost friends over it. But even then, I remember in middle school saying that I was no longer going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ooh, wow, bro.
Like I just was like, I was like, I'm not going to worship a flag. Mm-hmm. I was like, and this has nothing to do with me loving America, but that's just a piece of cloth. And I'm not going to idolize it to the ends of the earth as a kid, which again goes back even to your first album was like a song like Anthem. Like that kind of concept. I have to wonder with the Scott situation, because when we were doing our research for this album, I had never fully put this together, but that as much as The Untimely Death of Brad is like this joke song about the one time Brad wasn't at a show or whatever, it said on Wiki, I don't know if this is true or not, but that at this point you guys were already dealing with the band might break up rumors on the internet that you were trying to address. I know Eulogy on Electric Boogaloo is very much about that, but do you think Scott was a factor of that?
No, I don't think people thought we were going to break up yet.
Okay. Because I saw that, I'm like, I don't think that was the vibe I remember hearing. I know when Electric Boogaloo came out, there were
rumors.
There were murmurs.
Well, and it was internal too. Like, should we? We are not in a good place. You can't be so missional when you're brokenhearted.
Yeah.
Well, you can,
but
you have to be accepting of where you are.
And that's a dark album. I love that.
I know.
We'll get there. We'll get there next February.
We'll get there
but that
next
is a
time,
really.
But that's after my brother had passed away.
Yeah.
And so if we do want to talk about that, recording that album
I mean, we can touch on that a little bit. I
never wanted to leave the band, but I knew it was going to be different. I mean, for instance, when my brother passed away, we already had booked our trip to Europe. And I had, 2 or 3 months to process the passing of my brother. And then am I going to get back on the ska, happy, joy bandwagon and go rock out in Europe? How?
Yeah.
Right.
I remember interviews. I think it was in HM magazine when that album came out. I can't wait until next February when you listen to this album, Katie, because it is a really.
She has to wait. She has to
wait.
Well,
she has to wait. I need to get her first reactions.
Beautiful thing is that I do like how the pacing of how we do this, because I was exposed to so much Christian content when I was younger, but I was never exposed to Five Iron Frenzy. And I had a lot of friends that were like, oh, you would love this. And I was like, okay. And I don't know why, I just never listened. And it wasn't that like my parents were keeping me back or anything like that, but going through this is almost like reliving those years and being like, oh, I really would have loved this. And I do love this. Like, I love I love the statements that they're making. I love, and going through each song as like intricately as is exactly what I would have done if I was just like sitting on the school bus with my Walkman in my ears. Like,
same. And I did that to a lot of bands too. Yeah.
Combing through the lyrics, looking at the thank yous to find new bands to listen to. Like,
looking
we all
at
did it.
Who has a crush on different people.
Right.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
are you thinking in this liner notes?
But I was going to say, I remember when Electric Boogaloo came out, someone did an interview from the band with HM Magazine, and HM called out that it wasn't really a ska album.
Yeah, and we knew that. And
someone said, like, Chicago has horns. Are they a ska band? Like, why can't we just be a rock band with horns?
That's what we started calling it. I love
it. Yeah, and I love that. I know that was like I feel like that's one of those albums where at the time it came out, a lot of people didn't know how to think about it. But now I feel like a lot of people name it as their favorite or one of their favorite from you guys, because when you're a teenager, you can't relate to how dark and angry that album is. But man, in my 30s, when I went back to that record, I was like, this is like, dark. There are some songs that will rip your heart out on that record.
I agree.
Oh, man. I'm glad I'm not doing it right now then.
Yeah.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
They always tell you there's a catch, a compromise, an asterisk. Terms apply. See store for details. Maybe less than advertised. May vary by mood. Probably. Sprite Zero Sugar? It's different. It's the lemon lime flavored refreshment you want with zero sugar. So, no fast voice? No caveats. Just refreshment. This is Sprite Zero Sugar. Obey your thirst.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's superhero stuff you should know, or superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, let's go back. I want to go back.
Yeah, let's go back to Quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't even remember the track listing, but what's the first song on it?
Evil Plan. Evil Plan kicks off the album, one that you still play live.
So we used to call it, so when, you know how bands do, they don't write lyrics first. So the song starts and we have like a filler name. And that was basically our NoFX ripoff song. We knew it.
I wondered. Okay.
And that's okay. And that's okay. Like, I love that. I still tell Scott that. Like, and even our latest album, I'm like, can we get some more like punk songs? Like, that's usually me. Like, that's the pocket I love. And then what sucked about that song, I can't solo to save my life. I hate soloing. I don't know how to solo. I didn't learn saxophone very well. Like I sucked. I grew up, in a tiny town, like being the only tenor saxophone player in like a tiny little band, So when I joined Five Iron, they got me a few sax lessons, but when it came to soloing, we were like, oh, this is going to suck. So I just did the thing that I did, and I memorized that and I can do it, but I hate playing it live because it's so embarrassing. So recently in the past couple of years, we tweaked it where Dennis solos and me and Brad do some like padding behind it because it sucks. It's embarrassing. And I could memorize a solo, but it's not my style. Like, I'm not a soloist.
Hey,
so I adore that song. I give it 10 out of 10, but for my part, I give it like a 2.
Now, I have to ask this question. I'm always curious about stuff like this because back when I was seeing you guys regularly, I don't remember hearing this song live that often.
No, we didn't used to play it too much back in the day.
But now I think I've heard you guys play it live a lot.
Yes.
Is there a reasoning that this one made such a comeback?
Maybe we didn't know what to do with the solos. That could have been part of it. Okay. That could have been part of it. Okay. Like, I probably was like, no, I don't like it. And other people were probably like, not wanting to hurt my feelings. Serious. And that's fine. Maybe.
Well, then we've talked a lot about all that is good, but it's...
One more thing. Yeah. When we did our Kickstarter, we made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And when we made a lot of money, we purchased in a very wise investment, which was an in-ear system. Oh, so nice. When we're playing, do you guys know what an in-ear system is, how it works?
Yes.
Only because I've done like live type of stuff.
Right. So we have the ability on our phones to decide exactly the mix. So I can hear the horns high without the drums drowning out what I'm playing. So with regular monitors for a ska band, Reese could never hear the beat well and the tight punk songs like, like New Hope or like Evil Plan or like Milestone. You would so easily get off the beat because you don't hear and we have click in our ears that the fans don't hear. Like, So when we're playing now, we can lock in so well on some of these songs we never could perform live.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah, I remember
That answers about 50% of why certain songs can come back is we can sonically hear ourselves.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
That's why, partially, yeah.
I remember going to a Punchline practice one time and Chris let me listen to one of their songs through his in-ears. And it was, to someone like me who just listens to music, it was very disconcerting, because you're like listening to just like a constant clicking sound and maybe just like one guitar and a vocal monitor mixed in there. And
everybody can choose what they want. So like for us, the horns are high. Certain people don't even have Reese in their mix too much because he can get them off. And that's fine because he's doing what he's doing emotionally too. I choose to have him because I want to know, I need to interact in between the songs. I don't want to be like out of the banter,
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, it's just interesting. And I think sonically that made us so much better musicians that at Furnace Fest, there was, not last time we played Furnace Fest, but the time before we only had a half an hour, and idiots as we were, and I love us, but we made the mistake of not sound checking, and you get half an hour sound check before you go on, and it was not enough time to set up and lock in the in-ears. So we had to play a set without in-ears. And so right on the fly, we had to change the set knowing there are certain songs now we can't pull off live.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, though, because I was wondering that about Milestone, too, which was one that I don't remember hearing you guys play when I would see you guys
World
back in the
Without
day.
End would have been one of those. There's just a lot of songs that they're so tricky and so fast.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about All That Is Good. Is there anything else you want to throw out there, or should we just move right to
so the reason we
Dandelions?
don't do that live, and that's another one we don't do live, is sonically, again, we didn't know what to do with the horns in that song.
Yeah.
So we just put in let's just use the word, a gratuitous baby horn part in the bridge.
Yeah.
That isn't necessary. It doesn't add to the song. It doesn't. That song would be just as fine without horns. And so playing it, you feel like an idiot standing there live, even though it's a good song.
Yeah.
The other thing is when we recorded this, so when I would write songs, it would usually be a song that Reese would get, all the songs. And he would choose, pass or miss as far as, do I want to do these lyrics? And he'd have so many to do before we would record every single year exhaustingly, And so all that is good is when he's like, Leanor, you can have it. So I get the scraps.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I get what's left. And I like to write lyrics but so I would record it. I recorded it with Saki in the studio. And that's a very, you'll notice in songs I write, I'm very sing-songy. Like, alert the press, their dogma is a mess. That's very me.
Yeah.
Or like, who's behind the curtain anyway? Like, there's certain songs, and I like Cannonball I did, or Giants. They're very different than Reese. One, they're very sing-songy, or two, they're very cryptic lyrically. Because like Bad Religion is one of my favorite bands. So I like to
we're doing Giants next week, and I'm very excited for Katie to experience that.
You will not know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not like Reese. I'm not. It's cryptic more. So I would sing it, and Masaki, our producer, would make Reese copy it, and he'd try to change it. And Masaki's like, "That's not how she did it. Come on, bro."
Oh.
and so that was touching to me that that Saki would keep it to how I did it, keep the essence of the way I did the song.
Can I ask a question about this album too, where one of the things we read when we were doing our research was that a lot of this album was written and recorded in a very quick, 2-week span. Is that true?
Yeah,
was this kind of one of the more rushed ones?
This was the first album we did not record at One Way Studio in California.
Oh, okay.
And that's because we were brats, because we wanted to be by family. And I get it. Like now some of us are married or have partners. We have churches. We have careers. We're calling some of the shots. And back when we would go to Saki's studio, you're there for almost 2 months.
Sure.
Yeah.
Away from your community. And, is it easier for Saki to fly out and rent a different studio than all 8 of us drop our lives, which back when we started, we didn't have a life. So it was wonderful.
Sure.
500 was our life. We wanted to do it. But now it was kind of like, okay, we have different things we want to try. So that was one thing that was different. Number 2, what was different is with the horns. This was the first time we tried recording all 3 horns at the same time.
Oh.
And it's good and it's bad.
Sure.
It's bad because you feel a lot of pressure of, if I don't get this right, I ruin the whole take for everybody.
Yeah.
2, personally, we had gotten used to a pattern where Dennis laid down first, and what he did, his swells, his ebbs, his flows, his attack, Brad and I would copy to the T and loved that because that was the way we did it. So when you're playing it to the T, he could end early, and how do we know we're playing it now live?
Yeah.
And you didn't have those ideas.
It was easier to copy it and not feel the pressure of, we got to get it right. Dennis is right here. He can land it every single time.
Yeah. But I mean, it does also add to some of the more beautiful pieces of horn
let me
in
say
there.
this.
The opening to Dandelions is gorgeous in this recording.
Okay, that, and then let me say this. This is one of those Holy Spirit moments for me. If you hear it on the album, it gets me. We're in the studio and we have this saying, in the pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the pocket to me is like the Acts 2, where the Holy Spirit falls on everybody. It's called homothomaton in Greek. It's where you're all in one accord.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we sound like one instrument, one horn, the second verse of Evil Plan, where we go, da 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 da, and then that part ba 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 da da da. It's. I hear that and I'm like, how did we play that? Woo!
Yeah, that is a
we
really
do it
you were
live,
tight.
but in that album, or there's like the New Hope. Dun, 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 dun. It's your fingers are going so fast that if you tried to think of the note, you would mess up. But if you go there emotionally, and it's like riding a bike with your best friends, you are creating something that is like sonically like, oh, what was that?
Flow.
We had those moments in that album.
I love that.
It's insane.
Do you feel like that's changed over time, especially in the live shows? That's great. That's incredible.
No, there's moments of it, dude. There's moments of it where it's like, and I'm not a strong believer in right and wrong. Like my philosophy is very much like, some people will say whatever sonically is right for this song.
Sure.
And I'll say, choose your own adventure. This could be the right part. That could be, this could be. But there are moments that it lines up succinctly and you're like, nah, that was right.
Yeah.
They're just once in a while.
I mean, it's very improv style, you know, like it
is. But then when you look back, you're like, nothing else could have been there.
Yeah.
I want to jump to a song that I think might currently be Katie's favorite Five Iron song, which is One Girl Army.
Oh.
Lyrically, that song just knocked her
off
her feet.
Chair seat anywhere.
Had you not heard it before?
No,
she had heard none of that. This is all new.
It's all brand new. Like even meeting you and like I asked Matt, I was like, should I prepare anything? And he's like, no, don't do anything. Just come and hang out.
So is One Girl Army on this album?
Yeah. It's All That Is Good, Dandelions, and One Girl Army. It's
and
Dandelions kind of bleeds into One Girl Army, which is cool.
We're really into that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, what do you think? What did you think of it?
I mean, every single lyric, I was just like, oh my God, I kind of wish I had this song when I was younger because it would have given me a little bit more just like personal confidence. And I think I told Matt that like if I came out to a wrestling song or a like batter up, I was like, this might be the song that I pick.
Yeah, this is your song, your mantra.
Yeah.
And I love how Reese very gently and very beautifully makes a nod at Mary, the mother of Christ.
Yeah.
That's probably the first time we had that in a song, and probably one of the only, Protestant Christian songs that I think even mentions it, other than Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I can't think of any, maybe.
No, I mean, like, again, going back to like the Catholicism, like that's so inbred into like a lot of the music and especially around the holidays. But you're not getting any modern type of song that's also appreciating, like, behold the covers, the sisters, the mothers, the daughters, the spouses on the magazines. And I was like, ooh, we're going.
Reese is good, dude. And that's why I try not to write songs, because I'm like,
stop
give me it if you can't. But bro, he has a gift. And when we play that song live, I go, mothers, and I kind of point at myself.
Yes.
And I didn't used to, but now I've earned it.
Yeah.
I have an 18-year-old daughter and an almost 20-year-old son. And when I'm on stage and the women just go, woo, and all the moms, I'm like, it's a proud moment, dude.
As it should be. And then like also like going even further, like truth has been abused. How could she fill those shoes? Propaganda meant to fuel their schemes. And I was just like, okay, first of all, love that connection to everything else within the song. But like, it's also so very relevant throughout the entire
20 centuries of progress suffer slowly as we regress. Like, holy crap.
Still.
Yeah, like it was this song and Riot Gear were the two that
I was very
Katie was like, these could have been written in 2025, and I would have been like, they're talking about what's happening right now in the world. So like
And this Reese
sad.
kind of also was encouraged by this because a lot of us were very outspoken women about Christianity, and heaven forbid we just be beautiful eye candy with fluff to offer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, even in my youth, there was that pressure. Like, I don't know if you know the Enneagram, right?
Yes.
So I'm an 8, and 8 is a biatch, and 8 is the older sister, and 8
I'm a 7.
and I'm okay. So here's what the band wanted me to be a 7.
Interesting.
And I am. That's my wing. Be fun. Be light. Be with the fans. don't cause a ruckus. Don't do all these things. Don't lead. Now that I'm older and I'm a mother and I'm able to tour manage for the band, but I felt a lot of pressure to just be fun and light and kind and don't burn any bridges. Don't make a ruckus. Like, you smooth things over. Women do that. Women
Right.
are the salve of society.
Right.
And instead of, fanning the flames. But that's where I work best. And so it's been hard for me to go from my 7 to 8 and be like, it's okay. I was made this way. These are my gifts too. And so those kind of songs have been helpful to be like, your whole life you're told that your attributes are your faults as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that speech from Barbie.
It's from all over. It's just, and being Hispanic.
Right.
My culture, dating, my mom would say to me of my white boyfriend, are you going to make him a plate? What? He won't even know what a tamale is. No, I'm not going to make him a plate. He doesn't want me to make him a plate. We don't do this anymore.
Right.
But philosophically, I was raised that these are women's roles and these are men's roles.
Yeah.
And you are the helpmate.
Right.
You don't say that. We don't say that, but it's very
help,
much.
Yeah, that you bear the burden and then you keep going.
You are the martyr of the husband and the children.
Right. I mean, how much of that has changed for you just in your life? Like, was there any experience in being like 18 in this amazing ska band where you're going to ska against racism, and like, was there like more feminism that like started to spark within you, or was there any feminism that started?
The one thing I will say about ska against racism, and it's unfortunate, it is really unfortunate, but I'm glad for it. It was the first time I had to put men in a friend zone.
Interesting.
And I didn't understand that. Like, the Five Iron guys are such gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
They're my brothers. They're wonderful. They would never, or with other women, they don't treat them like that.
Yeah.
So you get around all these rock stars that are used to nobody telling them no, and that, oh my gosh, women, girls, they're stoked to be around me nonstop. And I'm like, oh, hi. You've been drinking since 2 p.m. and it's 2 a.m. And hello, this is not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was new for me, and it was a little scary at times, but I had all my Five Iron guys kind of keeping an eye out for me. But there was one dude that straight up like grabbed me and sat me on his lap.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel that? When did
I had
that
to,
happen? How old are you?
On Ska Against Racism,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old I was, like early 20s, but I had to like, I'm avoiding you like the plague. F you. Like, no, we don't do this. This is not okay. And it was one of those things that was kind of eye-opening to me. And one time my mom came to Five Iron shows, and I kind of wish she didn't, because she could see what was going on. And she's like, you're not always safe. And I'm like, but by God's grace, I am, I'm sure mom doesn't want to see me. Or like, oh, you're playing with cherry poppin' daddies and pie tasters? What the hell? Like, my parents are not sheltered. They're not. What? No. And they have to say, like, I have to do the whole, Mom, would Jesus hang out with the saved and preach to the choir? Or do we go there?
Right. Yeah. Right.
But also, the guys in the band would keep me safe. They'd be aware. Like Keith, at the time, I didn't know this, but Keith Harig and I would go for a walk at certain songs, and I didn't know what he was doing.
Oh, interesting.
Pie taster. Some of the guys would take their clothes off. Like there's just dirty songs by certain bands, and the guys were aware of it. And it was just like, come on, let's go get a Coke.
Nice.
Aww,
it's crazy town. That. I didn't know that.
Of course.
When we get to side B on this album, it gets a lot goofier. we get an ELO cover, which is a very good cover of an ELO song, but it is very off the beaten path for you guys.
Do you want to know some secrets?
Always.
Yes.
Exclusive.
Please. All right. So I, again, didn't grow up with ELO or ABBA. I grew up with Motown.
Yeah.
Right? Mexican music and Motown. So when I heard this music and Reese would be singing like, Mamma Mia, and Keith, I'm like, gay, what is this? Like, okay, these guys were raised by their single moms.
Sorry.
I had never met men that were willing to admit that they like this kind of music.
Yeah. It's good songs.
No, I didn't know this stuff. And we're like playing it. And I'm like, what is this cheesy?
Oh my God.
I've never heard that stuff.
Whose idea was it to do an ELO cover, though?
Reese is obsessed. That's why he says ELO.
I have all your albums,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with ABBA. Like, but here's the thing. So whoever drives gets to pick the music, right?
Sure.
So I'm like in the back seat hearing all this stuff like, what is this? Like Dancing Queen, dancing. And I'm like, what is this crap? Like, seriously, my mind was blown. I had never heard that one. Or like some of the guys, especially Reese, he really does like Harry Potter on like with accents being read the whole book.
Okay.
He would make you listen to an audiobook while you guys
Lord
read
of
the
the Rings. Oh no.
See, there's like a certain line. Like I love podcasts. I listen to them while I drive.
These are CDs.
Not when other people are in my car. I'm like, if other people are in my car, I flip to music.
And hours. You have to.
Yeah.
And then when Micah gets up there or Andy, it's like, like
Screamo.
death metal. Yeah.
What did you ever drive? Did you ever get to pick the music? No.
No, I don't drive. I mean, I drove the van one time, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't a great driver. And so I think when it got time to the school bus, it was just never asked of me and never again. And I think it's a female thing. I'm just going to say that. I don't think they don't love me. I just think it's kind of like, why would she drive? Should she drive? She probably shouldn't drive. Let's not have her drive.
My God, being a passenger princess in a band full of dudes, that's so lovely.
Yeah, but I would have like if it's needed, but I am going to be honest. I'm not. And I even say it now. There's been times where now we rent cars and I'm like, Philadelphia in a big van, please don't make me drive.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
I really don't want to. And I'm not, there's been times too where like, I won't say which band members, but to rent a car, you have to have better credit and a credit card. And so we can rent it under my name, but I'm not driving it. I'll give the keys to someone else. And they'll look at me and be like, I'd rather drive too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were driving, like what would be the music that you would pick for your enjoyment and then for their detriment?
So some of my favorite music to listen to when I drive, and I do road trips and stuff with my family, would be Budos Band, because they don't have any lyrics. And also similarly, I really like The Fast Feeling for driving at night.
Nice.
My side project with Scott and Andy and Matt Langston. And then I love Zelda and Chill 3. So there's these Zelda and Chill albums that are, my kids make fun of me, but it is so, I love stuff without lyrics because you just get into your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why that lo-fi stuff is so popular because it is just so relaxing.
And then also if it's like the Zelda themes or like the, I don't know, like the Revive Lake or whatever.
Yeah, it's so good.
Awesome. That's so cool.
There's one guy that's been suggested to me on Spotify a couple times that I think his name is Lonely Boy, but he just takes like new metal and pop punk and ska songs and turns them into instrumental lo-fi tracks.
Whoa.
Wow.
And like listening to like lo-fi versions of Offspring songs, I'm like, this is
weird.
So soothing.
Is that you and you just don't want to like...
No, I wish. I have my musical talent. I can play 4 chords on a guitar. That's about where my musical talents begin and end.
Yeah. My musical talents are so bad. Like... I remember one of my I'm way more the theater, the comedian, the like personality or whatever. But I remember when I was in high school, I had a teacher who I was like, okay, my dad told me to come up to you and to ask why I didn't make the musical. And he's like, well, you got...
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was like that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm a good kid. I'm going to learn. And he was like, well, you have 2 left feet and you can't sing. And I was like, okay.
So when Five Iron got together, we had a mission statement. And one of the things in the mission statement was we must have musical integrity. And so the guys used that. I was the first one. They said, well, based on this, we would like to pay for your sax lessons.
Hey.
And I won't lie. I went upstairs at the band house and I had tears and I think I punched a wall.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was critical of myself, but I wasn't going to show them. I was like, okay, all right, I suck. We got it. Okay. And I did the lessons and I got better. And Dennis kept writing things. And honestly, this is one of the albums that pushed it for me was Dennis kept writing things that were harder and harder, like New Hope. What the hell is that? Like so hard. But I like that he does that because it was like now you're going to get better. Now you have to get better.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's with a lot of stuff. You know, right now at the time that we're recording this, through the podcast network Geekscape, Katie and I and 2 other people have taken it upon ourselves to do daily geek news videos on YouTube. And we just finished our first week of it, and I think that they're good. But we're only going to get better at doing this if we stick to doing it and we force ourselves to exercise that muscle and get stronger at it. I want to ask you about 2 more quick things, and then we can wrap up, because I did promise you an hour. When I Go Out, on the album, very clearly Reese singing.
Yeah.
Anytime after this is a Leanor song.
Well,
what happened there?
Reese needs to drink some water and take a break. That's exactly why.
I mean,
that's why.
That makes sense, because that is a quick song.
But I usually will do it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Or, receive him. There's certain songs. Basically, it's just Leanor take the wheel so Reese can get a break.
Fair enough. Where did this song come from?
I don't know.
Okay.
Reese wrote it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did any of you anticipate that this was a song you'd still be playing 30 years later?
Well, that's the thing is like, okay, so I think it was one of the guys that's in Pink Floyd, and he said, playing what the fans want is the fool's game. He didn't say it exactly like that, but the concept is in 5-iron, any song we write, any lyric we write, anything we do on stage, it's all for us. We don't consider you guys. You guys are like secondary. The fact that there are fans, the fact that people like these songs, the fact that if a new album's written, it's because we're bored of the new songs. If we write about this subject, it's because we care about this subject. If we pick a song like Butt Metal Phantom Mullet in the set list because we want to play it, there's zero conversations about what would people like.
I think that you guys also have this kind of lucky position where, I'm friends with people who were in bands that maybe had one big song or one big album.
Oh, you're going to say because we didn't have a single big song?
Well,
thanks, man.
No, but I'm going to say this as a compliment.
It's true,
because those guys are kind of stuck where when they play a show, whether they've put out 7 albums since that one album, they're kind of stuck having to play a bunch of these songs that they wrote when they're 20. But I love that when I go to a 5-iron show, I might hear songs from the first album all the way up to the newest album. And if you watch the crowd, there's never like a lull when it's a slightly newer song. It's like the audience loves the whole spectrum of it. There's not people who are showing up just because they really, really, really loved our newest album ever, and that's the only stuff that they know. You know what I mean? Like, you've managed to build a fan base that like passionately loves every release.
No, because here's one thing, right? Sure. However, philosophically and spiritually, you'll see a lot of people that are pretty pissed at the newer lyrics. And it's not that they weren't there before, and it's homeboys, and homeboys are getting a little feisty online, and they're like,
I had a conversation with one on when you guys put your one thing up. I've had a couple conversations. I can't
so some of them, they don't like it.
They really don't. Yeah. And it's fascinating to me too, because I'm like, I see all the comments of people saying like, haven't you heard this band before? Like, haven't you heard, have you read the lyrics? Like, don't you understand what this is about? And it's so funny because like, it's usually then when like they start to drift away and not start fighting back on that. But it is interesting to me how people are gravitating, and white men are gravitating to the music.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. And which happens to be my biggest fan base, so God bless them. I mean, you can do this thing on Facebook and stuff where you can see your listeners or Jeff the Girl. Bro, my little white men fan base and these like 30s to 40s is, what's that all about? So I almost feel like that's a gift. When would this Hispanic woman from, rural Greeley, Fort Collins area have to offer? But oftentimes I get put on these panels or like TomCon or different talking things because they're like, one of these things is not like the other one. We need some representation. And it's been good for me. But I will say that the newer albums are more heavy-handed. There's a lot more use of the word you. Reese is definitely pointing the finger more. And also a lot of the earlier songs in the bridge, it would go, and here's how I am the part of the problem.
Right.
And the formula has changed. And I don't think that's bad, but I do think one thing we fought for, and this is off the rails as far as this album, but Until This Shakes Apart, having the song Wildcat, where there's one line that says, the cracks are where the light come through. And that's a Leonard Cohen concept, but it's a biblical concept. It's not, it's the redeeming line, one line in the whole album that says, but by the grace of God, it would be me. And it is me. And some of us kind of fought hard for that song to be on there because sonically it wasn't going to be on there. Sonically, it was like, it's cool, but it might be a filler song. But lyrically, for those of us who are more lyrical people, we're like, we need that lyric in this album.
Yeah, I'm really excited when we get to those two newest albums for you, Katie. I'm
so stoked.
Because those are like
I've seen some stuff. I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I have sent you like one or two songs.
By the time we're in the nursing home talking about this, you guys and your haptics for like 10 years later. Gosh, I can't wait that long.
The last thing I need to ask, we started with this conversation, at this point. How did this pants opera happen?
Okay, so Reese had a little, it's a machine. I don't know. I think it's a Casio.
Casio,
Some kind of machine that makes beats.
Okay.
You know? And so they're already pre-programmed and it's like tango, mambo, Sesame Street, whatever they're called, right?
Yeah.
And so he'd been playing. So he had this fun idea and it was all his idea. And he's like, okay, I'm going to play a song. And it's the same song, but it's in a different vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's, if you listen, it's verse, chorus, verse, it's all the same and it's the same length. And what I'm going to do is each person in the band, you can pick what style you want. You go in, you sing what's on the top of your mind then, and we're keeping it.
Oh, so you guys didn't even write ahead of time anything?
No, you go in the booth and you sing it.
More obsessed with this now.
But there was one person that got to change it.
Who?
Was it Reese?
Andy. So if you hear Andy's voice, he's got that, don't talk about my pants. Like he did an effect on his voice.
Yeah.
So he did it different. But all of us, from like Scott being like, these are not my pants, to like Brad doing Jamaican, or me like, love my pants, right off the hook, no writing, off my head, what's going to come out? That was it.
And did he just say they all have to be about a missing pair of pants? Like, how did the Bobby part get involved? Like, was there any notes on his storyline that you had to follow?
We always have, like, inside jokes, right?
Okay, so it's all just inside jokes.
Yeah, it's just like
part
Bobby's
of the flow.
Always funny, Pants is funny. So you just kind of like,
okay,
saying whatever's on the top of your head.
That's
and
so
I almost thought
strange.
mine was kind of like, like they fit me so tight, and I'm like, that's a little spicy. Like, should that go out there? I'm a little
You're
like,
breaching
again,
into
like,
R-rated zone here.
Well, PG-13. Like
at a minimum.
And I'm not usually that chick in this band, but we liked it. That's probably my sauciest contribution, right?
I love that Micah goes in there and he's just beeped
I'm not
the
wearing
whole
any
time.
pants.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so funny. It still is. I am on the pro pants side. I think that this is a very funny collection of songs.
We used to get several VHSs in the mail of youth group kids making their skits to these pants songs.
Oh, of course they did.
Or it'd be like a big homeschooled family showing us their talents.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know where all those are, but that was a season.
If you do still have those VHS,
yeah, I got the ability to digitize those. Yes.
All right, we'll
ship them to me in the mail. I'll
I
digitize
don't
them
know
and get
where
them
all those
online.
are, but it was those were the funny days.
Yeah, no.
Well, next week we're going to dive into all the hype.
Okay.
Anything that you can give Katie a warning on going into this album? Obviously,
2 warnings. Number one, there's no cohesion.
Okay.
Keep in mind, and this is why. Keep in mind, Scott left the band now, our main songwriter.
Right.
So everybody gets, not only does everybody get to submit songs, but everybody has to.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we got to make an album without our main songwriter. Who writes punk? Who writes ska? Who writes calypso? Who writes like white boy rap.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for no cohesion.
Okay. Okay.
This is the first album that I would say doesn't have
a through line.
Yeah, not really. And that's okay, but it's got some good songs. I would say some good songs, but is it a good album? We were finding our way.
I think that there's a very good EP inside of that album.
Sure.
Like it's
there's some
definitely
good songs.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, there's
some throwaway songs.
But there are 2 or 3 songs that I would argue are among the best that you've ever written.
Yeah.
But
That's
yes,
how it
this
goes,
is
right?
This is a very
Weird.
You can tell that this is a band kind of reforming itself after a major loss.
Yeah.
Leanor, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Is there anywhere people can go if they want to keep up with what you have been up to?
If they're interested in the side project, it's called The Fast Feeling, and I sing, and it's pretty vibey, kind of like synth pop. It's Matt Langston from 11D7, Scott Kerr, again, writing, and it was his idea to make this kind of vibe, and Andy on drums. And then also, if they're interested in learning more about prison chaplaincy, which I do here in Denver,
cool.
They can go to, that's what I do now, Urban Sky with an E.org. I'm one of the staff there, and they can always receive updates and learn more about what I'm doing here in the women's prison.
Wow.
Love that.
Yeah.
Freaking fantastic.
Good times. Yeah. Nice talking with you guys.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.